I also assume
sounds like a big responsibility.
For
must make
news and
Oh,
info.
there is. Seriously. I won show here with him before.
To keep it structured so we do
Yeah.
better, when our clients do better.
Yeah.
That's why investors like you are switching to us.
One guy used to say he doesn't carry water for anybody.
Yeah.
It goes at both sides.
Yeah.
People don't like that.
Yeah.
Shocking. Are we on?
Yes, we're live now. Oh, stream.
Yeah, but
I
they
think.
couldn't hear me. So.
No, they could not hear you.
I didn't have
Because
utility.
it didn't have a utility. Not that I would say anything bad.
Nope, not the webcam. We want to go.
Theory.
That's fantastic. And congratulations.
Hello, Mike.
Six
Jack.
pounds and weeks with the help of
Yay.
Andro 400. Guys, check out Joe's before and
30
after
seconds.
pictures on Andro400.com. Since 2002,
I think we got nominated.
for one
The entire building?
and effectively lose belly
I
fat.
know Tara got nominated for 2-1.
Guaranteed
A couple.
today, free shipping and special discounts available only on Andro400.com.
Oh, yeah.
Andro.
The commercials are not bad. What's are not with the balls. With the balls.
Filtered sports talk every weekday noon.
Lamelo and
to
Lonzo, I
3
think.
is the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
No, Joe, and the rest of you watching our stream. This is not Rob's couch at the Casa de Love, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking live, as Brett Musburger loves to say. At the palatial ESPN Upstate Studios. Your boy is back, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy's back in the studio. Join us on the stream, Facebook.com/ESPN Upstate, Twitter.com/ESPN Upstate. Search the Rob Brown Show on the YouTube as well, and you can watch the stream. As you watch Rob and Lonzo, your 2021 Star Awards finalist for Best Sports Show/Sports Talk Show in the state of South Carolina. And as Lonzo says to me during the break, hey man, you were a little shaky with excitement in that first segment. I need you to act like you've been there. Oh wait, you haven't been there. That is correct. I have not been there before. First time for everything.
But I hope that didn't come across as arrogant because I have.
Lonzo has been there many times. He's already got what? He's already got 3 in the bag.
Well, I think I have. It's somewhere between 7 or 9. Like that.
Count me more.
Yeah, you know.
It's just another piece of hardware for Lonzo.
You know, they tell you go and you get a regular job, which I don't know if I call this a regular job, but your sports, your competitiveness, you're done. No, you're not. We can win stuff here, and that is so cool. The first couple of years was a struggle, but now we're there. We're there, and I cannot. Man, I hope whatever they pick as the theme of the night is something that we can really show out on. But the most important thing, and I don't know, people who are listening probably don't know how this is done, but you go to Columbia with in a ballroom, and it's not just radio. So all the local news channels are there. So some of your news personalities, your weather personalities, your news anchors, those guys are there, and so you're recognized in front of your peers, and it's so cool. Also, to find out that I had a theory that radio and TV cliquish, and they are.
Oh, totally.
Totally. The TV people kind of stick to themselves. The radio people kind of stick to themselves, and it's fun to people watch in that room. So I can't wait to do that again this year.
Texter, the Ingles Market text line is open 71307, and Lonzo, I gotta, there's a solid chance I put myself on the 15-day DL today with a strained oblique from patting myself on the back, and patting Zoe on the back, because he's the one that honestly, he's the one that put together to make. I have provided content. I was the one who put this together to get us there at ESPN. Congratulations, guys. I've been listening since Rob was trying for the job, and then through the COVID and Tiger show times. And know you, Rob. You know how to run a show. Bow your head and put Dukes on that sand. And dude, yes, I just put a jar of Dukes on the table when we get to the awards ceremony. At ESPN, congratulations at ESPN. I'm excited for you guys. I just know that there will be never mind. A surge of encouragement to flood the text line. It was something else that he used there, Lonzo, that we were having a conversation about earlier. Just Texter realized that I appreciate the joke that you made there. Bravo. At ESPN, anyone who has seen Rob at a Triumph for Swamp Rabbits game knows he is 110% supportive of the community. You and Lonzo make my afternoons better with an entertaining show daily.
Wait. So you are out in the community?
Constantly.
You mean
Constantly.
No, because I've been hearing otherwise that you're not local. And last I checked, you are the most local, one of the, if not probably the most local that I've ever worked with in sports.
I'll stay involved. I stay involved.
Yeah.
Stay involved.
If you go to one of the chances, you're going to see out there. And if you don't recognize them yet, look for the loud shirts like the one he's wearing right now. Go ahead.
Magenta. I walked in today. Zoe walked in the office today. He goes, "Oh, I've seen it on a computer screen, but in color, it's much more
strong, man.
Strong. All right. We have sports, actual sports to get to. So let's do this. Now congratulated ourselves for half an hour. Let's take a break. When we come back here in just a minute, it is delayed, but nonetheless, we'll hit the lunch break down. The 3 things you have to know before you go start talking sports. When we come back, Rob Lonzo and you, the Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It's ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, "Play ESPN Update." From the Ingles Market Studio, this is Upstate. 97.7 FM Greenville, 97.1 FM Spartanburg, ESPN Upstate.
Auto station.
Are you tired of being
majority of
sidelined
what
by
I get is,
nagging pain?
I don't think you can
Hi,
do
I'm
that
Emmitt
from over
Smith,
here.
Hall of Famer and Dance with the Stars team.
Yeah,
Happy
okay.
to tell you about
What did you need?
and their biologic
What's-
therapies for
what-
treating
what's wrong
pain
with it?
without
It's not on
drugs
the
or
HD
surgery.
channel.
Are you suffering from chronic pain in your
Stop.
hips, shoulder, or lower back? Are you tired of living with arthritis pain?
Or the
QC Kinetics offers natural
This is
pain
standard.
treatment
That's
that can
not.
repair and restore
This is-
damaged tissue in your joints.
Listen, I know pain.
We'll
Powerful
find out. Let's
biologic
go to another
therapies
channel.
can be. Patients at QC Kinetics rave about their result because they're getting
So
their
it's the
lives
formatting
back.
on the
They're
actual TV.
getting moving again.
Yeah.
These exciting regenerative treatments used to be available only to pro athletes
Call
like
Chris
him.
back in
now
here.
they're
Hey,
available
Chris.
to
Come fix
anyone
our TV.
thanks to QC Kinetics. Call today for your
No,
free
there's
consultation.
Get
Yeah, I
long-lasting
know.
results from
For
our
this
friends at
TV.
QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics,
See,
864-448-3772.
there are things that we've had,
Two area
and
locations.
yes, we're talking about this
QC
on stream.
Kinetics, 864-448-3772.
And that should never be now. So, okay. So I got to, again, we're just Rob being in the
Yes.
studio. So I can take that out of utility and never put it back in for the entire show, which is what I did yesterday. Pretty sure. I am sure all those notes existed when we first came in here, but we weren't in this studio when the station first started. We were in what is Magic now, and Magic 98.9 and us, we switched because then that put all the talk stations in one corner of the building. It's more sense. And the program director that's over Magic, it puts it closer to him too. So
Hey, the flag's up, by the way, stream. Look at that. I told you it was real. Flag's up.
it looks good, man.
Because the TV can't rotate or can't have pictures without slowing down the stream. We threw the logo up on the TV too.
You know, I also want to point out how this is the collaboration, us being in the same room. We came up with the fact that we need to put something on that screen.
Stuff gets done.
Yes, it's wonderful. It does look good, by the way.
I like it. Except for now, I just realized all the stuff that we hung above the TV is going to have to come down.
Camera adjustment. You could bring her down there if you wanted, but then
I don't, because that.
you get that upward neck thing.
Then I not only add the room, but I also add a to the bottom
Yeah,
of the screen.
that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I was being nice.
Yeah. Brown Show rolls on. It's PN Upstate. Rob, Lonzo, you. 844-477-3776 is the phone number. 844-GSP-ESPN to jump on the phone with us. Ingles Market Tech for you as well at 7307. You can tweet us at The Rob Brown Show, at Lonzo on Word, at ESPN Upstate, Facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. All the different ways for you to get in touch with us on the show today. And we hope that you will take advantage of that to the lunch breakdown. Finally, we go.
Let's do lunch.
This is a very nutritious lunch. All the food groups are represented. You guys hear?
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here? Lunch! Lunch!
Let's break 3 things before we go start talking sports with our friends, family, for the dog. Whoever you break with. Rob, don't sound preachy you say this, but I know South Carolina and the Florida Panhandle, both are southern, but the Panhandle is further south, just being educational. Ooh, maps. The Florida Panhandle, down I came from, Zoe. We refer to that, of course, as the as LA, Lower Alabama. So I am mucho from the South, y'all. Mucho from the South. But again, I'm just saying, if you don't think I'm local, but I'm about as invested in this community as I think I can be. At least I try to be. All right. Item number 1 on the lunch breakdown today. We start. I don't know, Zoe. I don't know that people is excited to learn this information as I am, but I feel like this is a pretty stout golf community. Yeah, like I feel like there's a number of golf fans. It seems like every major golf tournament we get some people who are interested in talking about it. We got some of the best golfing in the country. We've got a tournament that take place within a couple. We hosted weeks ago. Of course, it's a pretty big golf community. Well, the U.S. men's Olympic golf team has been announced. Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, and Bryson DeChambeau will be rocking the red, white, and blue in Japan this year. This will mark 4 different American players than the ones who competed in the 2016 games. Morikawa said on Sunday, quote, "I'm so excited. Obviously, it's a little consolation to not winning here this week, but I'm going to go and play. It's going to be an amateur 2 years ago, literally 2 years ago, and to be on this team and to be heading to Tokyo puts a smile on my face. I really like," end quote. A country was allowed, every country that qualified got 2 golfers. You could bring up to 4 if all 4 were inside the top 15 in the standings. Outside of that, countries were allowed 2. One of the new players in the field this year, Bryson DeChambeau. By the way, if you were watching I was watching you on Sunday, the meltdown. I was there with the friend and we were watching it. Listen. And she's like, "Hey, I remember 4th, but everybody's going to remember 15, right? Stop 10 cupping it." She's like, "Why?" Stop it. I said, "Well, things a little bit." How much did it cost him, though? Sambo meltdown at the U.S. Open, Lonzo, cost him $200,000. Had he just held the line and finished at 4 or 5, as opposed to where he dropped to, he would have made $200,000 more than he did.
I am. Oh, for sure, because of what you just mentioned. If you make so much, we can.
Olympics, John Ron. Roy representing Ireland, Victor Hovland, Abraham Ants for America, for his country, top of my head, 3-letter abbreviations, and I'm a dumb American who doesn't know maps. So, you know. Corey Connors, Victor Perez, Mark Leishman representing the Aussies. Siwoo Kim is in. Some of the other big names I'm looking through. That's the majority of the biggest name. Francesco Molinari for Italy, obviously. Rafa Cabrera Bello for Spain. Rory Sabatini for Slovakia. CT Pan is in. And I think that's probably the majority of the name are going to recognize. But your Olympic golf team for the Americans is set. Item number 2 on your lunch breakdown, as Chris did a fabulous job of helping it so remarkably slow. Mark Emmert, and I'm going to go to audio for this, Zoe, and I don't have my roster pulled, unfortunately, but there is one clip that has Mark Emmert's name attached to it, if you don't mind grabbing that. Has reacted to yesterday's Supreme Court decision. And we're going to dive later on into a little bit more about what this means and how it's going to play out. But here is what Mark Emmert had to say about that decision.
Would we have liked to have carried the day? Well, of course we would have. And so we're disappointed. But the ruling has to be really how other people are interpreting it. You know, I've already seen some headlines that want to portray this as now turning student athletes into paid professionals who are going to get is. That's not what they rule at all. Thanks to point out the authority that the association has in these and a variety of other areas, and that if we wanted broader authority than we currently have, we could and should work with Congress. And of course, that's what we've been doing for some time now. It repeatedly went out of its way to, point out that the NCAA is free to articulate what are and what are not truly educational benefits, especially in ways that are consistent with our role and our desire to support student athletes.
So there's Mark Emmert. He says, look, and he's not wrong. I said the same thing yesterday. This is not a sweeping, decisive decision against the NCAA. It is simply hey, we have more that we need to get down the pipe. A lot of this goes in the have to address another thing we have to address. For instance, what is and is not an educational benefit, what is and is not an impermissible benefit when it is considered an academic benefit, et cetera, et cetera. I think the quote from Justice Kavanaugh that we read yesterday where he said, look, college sports is the only industry in America that, and this is Justice Breyer, this, not me, but this is the only sector in America, this is the only sector in America that has been able to build this empire and doesn't have to pay their workers a fair market wage. So now what I find interesting is the conversation was about the academic benefits that athletes at colleges should and should not be able to receive. But Brett Kavanaugh took it one step further and said these are what he defined them as workers. Paul Feinbaum said on ESPN this morning, this is the end of the world, parentheses, NCAA, in parentheses, as we know it. Quoting REM from back in the day. Said it's the beginning of the end of the NCAA as we know it. And I'm going to tell you, I think he's right, yeah? I think it is the beginning of the NCAA as we know it. Do I think it's going to be quick? Nope. Do I think it's going to be something? Do I think it's going to be chiseling away at the foundation of the NCAA for many years? Yep. But it's the start. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. We'll dive back into that for later on in the show as well. And finally, we had a lot of questions yesterday. Yesterday was the first day. Lonzo, I got a clip in there about Jacob deGrom, if you don't mind preparing when you're ready. Yesterday was the first MLB umpires being to check, to inspect MLB pitchers. Are there two? All right, one, we'll do the first one, which is him being checked, and the second one is his response. Jacob deGrom yesterday was the first pitcher to be inspected on the field for sticky substances in his, I think, 3-4 hit win over the Atlanta Braves in the first game of a doubleheader. Here is what the sound of the inspection was like in game.
Today is the first day of increased scrutiny for pitchers as far as sticky substance on their person. They have said that they're not going to delay play. They're going to inspect pitchers as they come off the mound between innings or at the end of their stints. So deGrom's hat said to check his belt. He said, "Do you want me to take it off?" They said no. They check under the belt, and now he has passed inspection.
Geez, thank God they didn't go that far. I mean, he took it a lot better than I would have taken. I mean, 11 straight perfect innings for deGrom, and he becomes the first pitcher in baseball to be checked as he leaves on the field.
Everybody was aware it was coming. I didn't know it was going to happen on the field like that. You know, you kind of prefer if they wait till the player gets back to the dugout, maybe, and
they want to make it very public.
So
yes, they do. Here was deGrom on the field, sticky substances.
Were the two sticky stuff checks kind of what you expected them to be, or did it take you by surprise at all?
No, they said going into it they were going to check, and I expected it. It is what it is, and they wanted to go ahead and check, and that was fine.
Yeah. Here's what I love about it. The guys on play-by-play line, so we're like, "Oh, you would prefer this." And the two, best pitcher in Major League Baseball, Jacob deGrom, who is a freaking lights-out stud this year for the Mets. They go, "Hey, did it catch you by surprise? Were you expecting something different?" And he goes, "Whatever. I don't care. Doesn't bother me."
We talked about, how soon would they do it? It's like getting that email from the manager where he knows one particular person did something, but he sends the message to everybody. It's the same sort of thing. This is a message to all of baseball that we're going to check this, and they did it with one of the biggest stars in the game.
The biggest star in the game.
Yeah. So, but the fact that he knew it was coming, did that mean that they told him they were going to inspect him when he got out there, or he just since they were going to be the first one back?
Yeah, I mean, I had a pitcher on a mound yesterday. If you were going to go out without the stuff, yes, but with the stuff, and I think the other aspect of the pitcher, of course, I'm saying what deGrom said. That's no big deal. It doesn't bother me. I'm fine with it. I'm cool. Why? Because you don't want to. Who drew more attention to themselves last week? So Jacob deGrom saying, "Yeah, man, it's cool. It's whatever. They can check. I don't care." Or Garrett Cole going, one of those two guys is going to be checked, I assume, more thoroughly than the other. deGrom played his card. I don't know if deGrom uses this stuff or not. That's the point, right? If you're good at it, we shouldn't know that you are using it. Garrett Cole made it obvious he was. Jacob deGrom did the opposite. I got a list of questions that a lot of people have been asked, or have asked, I should say, the way this is going to be on the field. I have got some answers from some MLB insiders that have been in the process from the beginning. We'll run through those when we come back. Rob Lonzo, it's ESPN Upstate. The TV one. Oh, gotcha. I guess we probably just need to leave the mouse plugged in and then move it occasionally? Yeah. On the stream, 5-0.
Yeah, no.
I don't miss the static in this freaking building.
It's my fault. I'm sorry.
You brought static?
It's
in
the
the
hair,
it's the
man.
hair. There it goes. That's back. So we just need to leave that plugged in. All right. So, yeah. That's fine.
The radio is hard.
Also.
under these covers. We can't reach the radio.
All right. So we just need to rub that in. There you go, people. You got to see something cool, huh?
Just ask it, I will play the radio for you.
When you can't reach the radio, ask Alexa to play it for you. Alexa, play ESPN Upstate.
Okay.
And listen to the Upstate sports leader without moving a muscle.
Great idea until atrophy sets in.
ESPN Upstate.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Fisher is different? How? Don't you just ride the wave?
No, we actively manage client portfolios based on our forward-looking views of the market. In times like these, we understand that clients want proactive communication and guidance.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we can know our clients so we can...
Is the stream really glitchy? Computer. It looks like a computer being slow. I'm curious.
It just went dark. That's why I texted
Yeah.
Chris to ask him because I wasn't sure.
How to fix that. So I looked up and saw fireworks.
So
around me.
Yeah, anytime you get up, just wiggle that mouse when you walk by. Keep the screen active.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle.
Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah. Was a lyric, that one best song. It's super glitchy, super to whatever we can hear. This look at this. This computer says it's using 100% of the internal CPU.
Well,
30 tasks running. 30. I have 3 web pages open. It is 30 tasks running.
that's weird.
What did he tell us what Tanium does? Like, will it wreck this computer if I stop that task?
30. So yeah, stopping is probably a bad idea.
3 different instances running, all using memory. I don't see anything else that I can close.
Well, so we can check this computer and see equally as bogged down, and we can do what we talked about and run it over here, and you can just log in. But still, it still will be glitchy on your side. So all things considered, problems goes.
Yeah, it's way down on
it.
I like Chrome. Chrome's my browser time. And it's very frustrating. Nobody's going to watch a stream if it stays that glitchy.
Sure, you can post your job to some, which is why you should try. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Other companies might deliver a lot of hay. ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now, ZipRecruiter for free.
I downloaded that game, by the way. I haven't had a chance to.
Sea Thieves?
Yeah.
Yes.
I downloaded it last night. Tuesday's not a good night for me, though.
Yeah. I'll be on Thursday. I'll be on playing probably all Thursday afternoon.
All right. Thursday's a good shot because I don't think I got anything going on Thursday.
Chris's admittance to our crew is he has to basically just work in here all day today.
He could say no. So happy to have you back that he's just coming and doing it.
Turn my own mic on. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It's ESPN Upstate. Rob and Lonzo and you. There have been asked how sticky stuff is going to work in Major League Baseball. ESPN compiled a group of experts who are really involved in this. They've got a solid idea on thing is going to work, and they have compiled a list of answers to some of the questions that have been predominantly went and they got MLB experts Alden Gonzalez and Jesse Rogers to sit down. Biggest question is, how will umpires enforce the foreign substance crackdown during games? Rogers said, quote, pitchers will be inspected after innings and or when they come out of games. If they're doing something suspicious during an at-bat, they can be checked between batters as well. Their hat, glove, and belt will be looked at, while the rest of the uniform is also in play if umpires deem it necessary. The one post-examination exception is for closers. They'll be inspected before they pitch to avoid awkward walk-off moments. Umpires will be on the lookout for that feels or looks slick or sticky. Gonzalez chimes in and says this is among the many elements that are fascinating. The league didn't want to retroactive based on finding balls have undoubtedly triggered a litany of objections. It's going to go. What if someone happens to be caught? What happens if someone's caught with a substance deemed to be against the rules? Rogers says, quote, simply, he will be immediately ejected and suspended for 10 days with pay. The team cannot replace the player on the roster. Gonzalez says, stated that repeat offenders will be subject to, quote, more severe progressive discipline, end quote, though it's unclear what that might actually look. They ask, how will this impact position players? Rogers says if they're acting suspicious as they visit pitcher on the mound, they can be checked by the umpires as well. Many fielders, especially during cold months, have possessed the grip enhancer just like a pitcher does. As long as they don't assist their own pitcher to a random check, she might. Another June 24th, 2 months into the season, which is the big question a lot of folks have asked. Rogers says basically the MLB wanted to gather data before laying down the hammer. So it looks like this may be as much, and this might be part of the reason for suspension with pay. They really, more than anything else, just wanted to get an idea of how big of an impact this would have on the game before anything else. So there's a couple of answers to some bigger questions that folks have. Let's try to win you $1,000. What do you say? Your $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate. Your 1 o'clock word of the day today is West. W-E-S-T. West. W-E-S-T. You're going to text that to 72881. 72881 West. W-E-S-T. Text it to 72881 for your chance to win $1,000 in the $1,000 cash dash. ESPN Upstate. When we come back in just a moment, Dawn Staley could potentially win some history at the Olympics, along with a couple of vets on the club, plus breaking news on the men's side as well. That's next on the Rob Brown Show at ESPN Upstate.
Baseball splitting a doubleheader against the Mets yesterday. They lose in 1-4-2, come back with a 1-0 win in the nightcap. Interestingly enough, it was their second straight doubleheader, and in each of the two doubleheaders, they split the two games with a 1-0 win in the second contest. In the first game, Ozzie Albies hits a home run. In the second game, Ian Anderson pitches 5 1/3 scoreless innings, allowing 3 hits, striking out 5 with 1 walk. Series is set to continue this evening on the mound for the Braves. Charlie Morton, he's 6-3 with a 4.03 ERA. Marcus Stroman will make the start for the Mets.
Sorry for all the stream quiet, but you know, when you get that exciting news and you get hyped up on adrenaline, and then you reach that moment where the adrenaline is eased a little bit, and you just kind of got to take some deep breaths. I think we may have hit that spot together.
That was one of the funniest things you've ever said on air. Ever. So all right.
I thought the transitional back hair was pretty funny, but because I didn't really think about it until 2 days later about why it shot. So
The funniest.
funny accidentally.
The funniest will always remain your story about going to get your COVID test. That's going to remain undefeated for.
I really want to end that promo, but I need to, I need that. I deserve that.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. I turned my mic on, is what I'm pointing out there. I didn't forget. And scream into the void to come back from break there.
Look at you.
I know.
That's
So that's a fact. The show back on your radio, ladies and gentlemen, is ESPN Upstate. I am Ron, the great one. Hashtag Dad Kicks, Colonel Grudge, the Alpha and the Omega of ESPN Upstate. The conductor of Symphony of Sound, the pinnacle of professionalism.
Hey, Rob.
Lonzo at the board. Hello,
Rob.
Zoe.
I just saw something really cool on social media.
Yeah? What's it say? Specifically.
Show has been nominated for in the state of
Lonzo and Rob have been nominated for a Star Award for Best Sports Talk Show in the state of South Carolina. And the answer, Lonzo, is yes, it does hurt from patting us on the back for the last hour. But champions rise to the occasion, and I'm gonna continue.
And we do our best here at ESPN Upstate to strive to bring home hardware, and that's what we plan on doing.
Yeah, I've made the joke many times that I strive for mediocrity. Today I can say that we have accomplished mediocrity, Lonzo. We have accomplished mediocrity, and I'm damn proud of us.
Now, see, you can't say that anymore because we're at least top two.
I will tell you, the promos that I will cut if we come in second for this, where I just repeatedly brag, ladies and gentlemen, the second best sports talk show in the state of South Carolina will be unrelenting because it's pretty good too.
Oh, you know, and they're not going to dwell on this for a long time, but we are.
Yes.
But we are, unless management steps in and we've got the door bolted. So good luck getting in this room. So it's weird sitting across from the people that you're going up against. I wonder have you thought about how you're going to approach this? The other, not the number 2 team, the one that's going to win number 2. Yeah. I mean, are you gonna be great? Boom. I mean,
No, not at all.
Okay.
I really am not a jerk. Well, I will introduce myself before we go. If from me, if we win, it'll be handshakes and fist bumps all around. Spirit of competition.
I absolutely will clap, but I don't want to meet them. So I mean, but that has to do with me not wanting to meet anybody. It has nothing to do with that. It's just like I don't want. Here's my problem: when I win, there's a grin. Annoying. My best friend.
Most people call it a smirk.
Yeah, well, my best friend in the whole world picked the Nintendo up and threw it against the wall. So that's what I don't see that kind of thing happen to other people. I don't want to cause a problem. So it'd be better for me to just look down and take a victory lap and then go home.
There will be a Tiger Woods fist pump. Like I think I will. What I'll probably do is have like 30 different athlete celebrations after we go to receive said award. There will be a fist pump.
I will let you know there's no microphone going on. You just walk.
Are going down to a couple of boats, Lonzo, and I am throwing the trophy from one boat to. I'm gonna do a fee from me to Zoe, one boat to the next over Lake Hartwell.
I'm just guessing that you're not going to have the kind of accuracy that a soused, drunken Tom Brady had. But we don't know till we try.
You don't know that.
We don't know till we try.
We will do it. By the way, though, we will do it like on the beach. Like we're not going out over Lake Hartwell. We're doing it right there on the beach.
I gotta admit, I've never been to Lake Hartwell. I've been by it, but I've never been on it. But I'm willing to do that if you want to try. If someone wants to let me borrow their boat because I don't have one.
I got a boat.
Yeah,
we're good on a boat.
Well,
we'll need a second boat.
Yeah, I don't want to be on a rowboat or something.
We may have to reenact it from beach to boat instead of from boat to boat because we don't have Brady money.
That might be a good idea. So if it hits the beach, it might get scuffed a little, but at least we won't have to hire a diving team.
Hey, Brady, that up, Zoe. Grab that clip for me. It's super short, but boy, did it spark a fire. It's a promo for a show that hasn't aired yet. It's just a promo for the show. But Tom Brady has appeared on LeBron's HBO show called The Shop Uninterrupted. Basically, the format is they get a group of people within sports. They sit around in a barbershop and they just talk.
Have you ever watched? I mean, I've seen clips, but I've never actually watched it. I'm sure it's probably on HBO Max, though, which I have. Maybe I'm not going to watch this episode, but I might watch another episode.
I have not watched it. We'll be watching this episode as soon as it drops on HBO Max. And I'm excited about it. And I'm excited about it because Brady dropped this line in the promo.
One of the teams, and they weren't interested at the very end. I was thinking, you're sticking with that mother.
Yeah. So Brady's telling the story. And in Brady's story, he says that there was a team that he was interested in that was interested in him. And in the story, Brady says that it had come down to signing time. A team was interested in him, but decided that they were going to stick with their guy. And he said, you're going to stick with that mother, LOL, LOL, says the rest of the group. Now, a couple of things that out of that. I am a Brady fan. This may shock some of you, Lonzo is not a Brady fan. I know. Absolutely stunning revelation here on the Rob Brown Show that Lonzo is not a Tom Brady fan. I know it's weird to hear. Yeah, it's weird. I understand that.
I gotta say, I get criticized, or it's pointed at him all the time about how much I grimace every time his name is mentioned.
You literally did that to set up a sound clip before we
didn't do it.
You did it hard.
Oh well.
You didn't do it hard, Zoe. You did it hard twice setting up the sound clip.
Okay.
All right?
At least I'm consistent.
Now, here's why I'm not offended by that, right? Because if you're Tom Brady, at the time of what he's talking about, 6-time Super Bowl champion, if you're Tom Brady, you operate under the mindset of, I'm the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL. Correct in that mindset. You are correct. Okay? So it should not, it should shock you a little bit when a team would rather go with anybody who's not you over you. Now, we don't know who that team is. That is the San Francisco Niner team that Brady expressed interest in playing.
I will tell you that was the spread of people to the point where Jimmy Garoppolo was ending.
Yeah.
And I believe it. I absolutely believe it.
That's fair. And I lean in the direction of that's who it
I
was.
mean, because he's saying that guy, he knows guy.
Not necessarily, right? I see a number of quarterbacks for a number of teams that Brady may have been interested in. There's only one team I don't think it was that had a shot at signing Brady. The only team I think it was not, Lonzo, was the Saints, right? I don't think Brady would say that about Drew Brees. It would make sense that the ride one more into the sunset with Drew Brees over Tom Brady. But outside of that, the only other teams that had a shot at signing Brady, right? Because there are other quarterbacks. That wouldn't be Patrick Mahomes, right? It wouldn't be Mahomes. It wouldn't be Lamar Jackson. The only other team that had a shot at signing Brady, it might have been, would be the Bears, the Broncos, the Dolphins, and there's probably 2 or 3 more I'm not thinking of. The 49ers, obviously. Vegas. There was at least at one point a rumor that Vegas was a team that was being considered by Brady. So let's say those what? The Saints, the Dolphins, the Broncos, the Bears. Of any of those 5 teams, look at New Orleans. Last year, Lonzo, if you were Sean Payton in the New Orleans Saints, you're not dropping Drew Brees. And I want you to take Lonzo out of this and approach it from a neutral GM to put together a team to win. Last year, Brees in his retirement year to bring in Tom Brady for one season.
Well, I wouldn't drop him for a couple of reasons. For one, what you just mentioned, you're not going to drop him in his year unless you want to be hated your community. And the other thing is, if you look at the stats, they're how much of an upgrade are you really getting? And I know some people, but he's a great, and it has nothing to do with that. You only get rid of a Drew Brees if you guarantee you have a Super Bowl and that guy is, at least 30, 40% better than what you got, and you couldn't do that.
Brady of 10 years ago, better discussion. Brady at 40, no, it's not a discussion. But
I mean, those guys back and forth on record. I mean, so no, you don't do it for that reason.
By the way, Brees won the series against Tom Brady last year 2-1, right? He beat him twice in the regular season. Brady won the one that counted, the playoff game. Brees beat him twice. It's not the Saints. It's either the Niners. It is Mitchell Trubisky for the Chicago Bears. It's the Raiders.
So saying Mitchell Trubisky, that guy. Right. I mean, as soon as you can understand Brady saying that if that's who it was.
It's Trubisky. It is Derek Carr with the Raiders. It's Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. It's who else did we say? Denver. It's Drew Lock in Denver. Brady could have said, you're going to go with that mother bleeper about any of those guys, Lonzo, and he would be right. Are there any of those four? If you are not Lonzo, but you're GM of those teams, are there any of four? If it's not Brady, but a guy who's not Brady, but is Brady.
But I don't like Brady doesn't mean I don't his play the game and that kind of stuff. I would take him over any of those guys. Yeah.
Correct.
Big time. And you're right. It just, out of all those, the one that stands out the most, if it's not Garoppolo, Joel Trubisky. Just that I could picture Brady saying that about him.
You know, or going into, he was in his first season last year. Texas saying Chargers possibly Tyrod Taylor at the time, since Herbert wasn't drafted yet. Yeah, okay. We'll put the LA Chargers into that as well. But regardless of one of the guys we're talking about, are those even for 2 years? Even if Brady tells you before you sign, guys, I'm doing 2 years and I'm out. Are there any of those that you don't get rid of to bring in Tom Brady?
Of all those guys, for sure.
Yeah. The only ones you don't get rid of for 2 years with Brady are Brees, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, maybe, Russell Wilson. And after what happened this offseason, getting rid of Russell for 2 years might have been the right call. Those are probably the only four guys in the league that I don't make that shift for. So everybody's looking at Brady and going, oh, hey, I can't believe he said that. Are you kidding me? Not only can I believe he said it, Lonzo, he's right. It is insane. If anybody but the Saints, the Chiefs, the Packers, the Ravens, might be the whole list. You are crazy to not get rid of the guy to bring in even 2 years of Tom Brady. That is insanity not to make that move. Tom Brady was right regardless. It doesn't matter which team he's talking about. Every team that Tom Brady will add into that list that was a potential landing spot for him was insane for not dumping the guy there for 2 years to ride.
Brilliant, because he expounds upon this whole line, or even comes right out and says who he's talking about, because he very well could, but it's to find out if he did.
Oh, they clipped it perfect.
Yeah, good promo.
Now, I'll take $1 bet with you, Zoe. The bet says we don't find out what team it is.
No, I'm not going to take that bet.
Dollar bet says Tom Brady does not reveal who it is.
At least you're not mentioning what you talked about. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. The next bet made between the four of us on ESPN, the loser is going to be very uncomfortable. 3 hours?
Yeah, no. 3 of us will be uncomfortable.
All 4 of us.
No, man.
One of us physically uncomfortable, the other 3 emotionally.
Diesel could rock that.
I don't know, man. I saw Diesel yesterday for the first time in a while.
He still could rock that, but it would bother him for another because of the school.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, we're decorating in the studio earlier, and I found it was hanging on the wall. We have a Wofford game-worn jersey that was left here in the studio, and it is I don't know what, Lonzo, Toddler XL. It's a game jersey, y'all. It's snug, and I told Zoe, we'll have to do their entire show stream wearing that jersey. And I can tell you, Zoe, I might be able to get that jersey over my right arm, but that loss. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back here and just. Do you think Brady will reveal the team that he's talking about? I do not. I don't think we're going to find out until he might tell the story years down the line, but he won't tell it in that show, I don't think. All right. 844-477-3776, 844-GSP, ESPN. Let's talk some Olympic basketball when we get back. We got a lot of guys coming on and off the roster. For the men's team, we now know the women's team, Dawn Staley in charge, and 2 members of her team have a chance to make Olympic history. We'll tell you what's next on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
Woco Showtime, and some of the players who are going to be on the team include Kevin Hickson, Spencer Collins, Eric Garcia, Nate Hoover, and also Larry McKnight Jr. Hawks continuing to get set for the Eastern Conference Finals, and they are going to match up against the Milwaukee Bucks. The series is set to open up Wednesday night at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. Download the Score app today. Lightning fast sports alerts so you never miss a thing. It's why the Score app is one of North America's popular sports apps. With your ESPN Upstate Sports Center update, I'm Matt Pauley.
Every hour from 7 to 5 p.m. weekdays for the keyword. Text it to 72881. Text it to notify this national of a big chunk of 11 times a day. Powered by BetQL. BetQL's proven data and analytics help you become a better bettor with a BetQL app today.
CEO and co-founder of Intimacy is more than what happens in the bedroom. Members every day. Erectile dysfunction in the bedroom. So much more outside of it. Connection, warmth. They feel more intimate with their partner. And that's what every couple deserves. With Roman, it's simple to connect with a healthcare professional.
Yes, I'm on Zosod right now because I'm trying to change TV channels.
Go to getroman.com/happy and we'll take $15 off your first month of easy treatment. Your medication is
And I don't know where the kid is. There it goes. And now I can't change it again. Y'all, the struggle is very real for me right now. Magic. Now I'm back over here. How about that? And those of y'all watching the stream, I know it's kind of glitchy today. After the show is over, I'm actually going to go clean up this computer and jump a lot of the files off of it, and hopefully that'll speed up the memory and speed the computer up so smoother in the future. Also, I just realized, man, I got to wash this hat.
QC Kinetics, 864-448-3772. That's 864-448-3772.
Rob's grandma pics on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw.
Has suggested. I think I might do that actually. Except for that, I have a bare wall at my house. But I think I'm going to hang up some of my photos on that wall, so I might do that. Also, did you see the avatar he uses?
I did not. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's the avatar that at Rob's grandma pics on Twitter is using for us, and I kind of love it. I appreciate it. He had to go Photoshop that dude. He had to put work into making that Abby, and I respect the crap out of it. At least when Rob and Zoe left and Rob was at home, we were comforted by the ocean pictures.
Even easier than that. And with our top-rated app, you can bank anytime, anywhere, making Capital One an even easier. Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time. This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet? New consumer accounts only. Approval required. Terms apply. Capital One pricing. Goodyear knows the importance of keeping momentum as you head down the stretch. Momentum starts with movement. It's pulled from the air like a contested relay. Momentum builds with steals and fast breaks, and is proven by deep threes as the shot clock expires. Momentum is how we change the game. Now it's time to discover where it can take us. Goodyear, more dreams. This hour of the Rob Brown Show is brought to you by Indeed.com.
We have an hour sponsorship on the show. How about that?
Yeah, you just haven't been able to hear it.
What's that?
I said you just wasn't able to hear it before.
Oh, it's been there for a while. The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. It's ESPN Upstate. Rob, Lonzo, you jump on the air with the show that is nominated for the best sports and best sports talk show in South Carolina for 2021. Yeah, buddy. 844-477-3776. 844-GSP-ESPN is the number to be a part of the show. So we are learning more about who's in and who's out for the U.S. men's Olympic team. We know that Donovan Mitchell is out, has some ankle injuries. So he is out. Chris Middleton, Kevin Love, both in for the U.S. men's Olympic team. We know that Ben Simmons is out, is going to spend the summer, shocking, I know, after Doc Rivers all but eviscerated him in like 5 words earlier this weekend, spending his summer working on his game to try to become a more clutch player. Good luck with that. And we're waiting on the rest of the names to be announced. We do know the women's roster now. It is officially out, and there is history to be made in this, which I'm looking forward to seeing if they can pull it out. We know Dawn Staley, of course, the head coach for the University of South Carolina Lady Gamecocks basketball team, will be pulling the string for this squad. Talk about a roster. Once back and forth about whether or not the U.S. men's team should lead youth or experience. We now know that the women's team is going heavy on the experience side. The roster is headlined by Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. Those two named to their 5th U.S. Olympic team in Tokyo. Bird and Taurasi become the first basketball of any rocking the red, white, and blue to win 5 gold medals. At the Tokyo Olympics, the U.S. women can tie the Olympic basketball record of 7 consecutive gold medals. The Americans have won their last 49 Olympic contests dating to the semis of the 92 Barcelona Olympics. Ariel Atkins, a 2019 of the Washington Mystics, will make her Olympic debut. Sue makes her 5th Olympic appearance, where along with Taurasi, she becomes the first basketball player to win 5. She is 40 years and could become the oldest basketball player ever to win an Olympic medal. Tina Charles, a 2-time medalist, will make her 3rd Olympic appearance. She was a WNBA All-Star in 2019. She has done that 7 times. Nafisa Collier, guard for the Minnesota Lynx, will make her debut, the youngest member of the team at 24 years of age. Graduated UConn in 2019, has played for the Lynx and earned Rookie of the Year honors in 2019. Skylar Diggins-Smith, a guard for the Phoenix Mercury, will make her debut at age 30. 4-time WNBA All-Star, took 2019 off after giving birth. Sylvia Fowles, center for the Lynx, a 3-time gold medalist in 2008 at Beijing. At 35, she has won 2 WNBA titles in 15 and 17, both with the Lynx. Chelsea Gray, a guard for the Aces, 28 years old. Her Olympic debut, won a WNBA title in 2016 and is a 3-time WNBA All-Star. Brittany Griner, we are very familiar with. For second, she helped the U.S. finish on top of the podium at 2016 in Rio. She has also helped the U.S. claim the last 2 World Cup titles. Jewel Lloyd, a guard from the Storm, made her debut on the team that won the Gold Cup in 2018. The Tokyo Games will be her Olympic debut, a two-time WNBA champion. Breanna Stewart, forward for the Seattle Storm, makes her Olympic debut made her debut at the 2016 Rio Games, the youngest member at the time at 21. Since then, she ruptured her Achilles tendon playing overseas in 2019, but returned to the court the following year and was named the WNBA Finals in 2020 when she won with the Seattle Storm. Diana Taurasi, we mentioned her. 4 golds already, going for number 5, 3-time WNBA champion and the WNBA's all-time leading scorer. She has also become a mom recently. Her wife, former Mercury teammate Penny Taylor, gave birth to their son Leo in 2018. And of course, from South Carolina, Aja Wilson, she is with the Aces now. The 2020 WNBA regular season MVP makes her debut. She played the only member of the 2021 U.S. women's basketball roster that went to South Carolina. So the Gamecocks will be represented on this roster by Wilson. Zoe, we talked in the past about for the Olympic Games, for international competition, would you rather have a youth movement with a bunch of guys who are hungry to put their name on the list, guys like Zion Williamson who haven't done it before, who would want to go win gold, or do you go with a wealth of experience? And the U.S. women's team has decided to go with a cast that have been there, done that, got the T-shirt and the gold medal to go with it. For the men's side, I have leaned young. Go with guys that want to work on their legacy. The Devin Bookers of the world who still feel like they have a hunger for something to prove. I don't have an issue with the women going the other direction because, and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean it to sound anything less than what it is, or anything more than what it is, I should say. The men, the majority of these guys are making millions of dollars playing in the NBA, and they're protecting pocketbooks. The women aren't making that kind of money. Their legacies can be built by pounding gold medals into them. I love the way that Dawn Staley has built this roster out.
You know, and there's something else about this. Maybe they play for Dawn Staley. Maybe they just want to play for their country. Maybe it's not about the money. Maybe it's being able to play in the Olympics. I think most kids who are an athlete of any sort, when they're growing up, think, man, I'd love to be at the Olympics for something. And as the NBA guys go with the guys who want to go. I mean, the guys who are committing so far are pretty good. Yeah, they're going to be going up. I think the men have a harder road than the women do.
Sure.
Because, women's basketball hasn't caught up across the world the way that men's basketball has. But yeah, I'm okay with either approach. But for the most part, for the men's team, just go with who wants to be there. I like Kevin Love's going. I mean, once that LeBron left, you don't hear a lot about Kevin Love. He's still a good player.
Yeah.
I mean, he just plays on Cleveland, and nobody else there is good. So you throw some guys, and I'm pretty sure he's played before. So you are getting some experience. But all the superstars, the real superstars, are fairly old on the men's side.
Here's who we know we're in right now. We have 2 spots remaining on the men's team. We have Chris Middleton and Kevin Love, who have just committed. We have the other players are committed. Miami's Ben Adebayo, Brooklyn's James Harden and Kevin, Golden State's Draymond Green, Washington's Boston Jason Tatum, Phoenix's Devin Booker, and Portland's Dame Lillard. Steph Curry has rejected the invitation, as has Donovan Mitchell. We know that. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard have both expressed and have some indication that they would like to play. It will remain up in the air, obviously, as the Clippers are still active in the NBA playoffs. They are down 1-0 to the Phoenix Suns. By the way, Kawhi Leonard inactive for tonight's game 2, as is Chris Paul. Chris Paul still in COVID protocols. You know, I really wish the Suns or the NBA or CP3 or somebody would let us know why. Not that I have any extreme dedication to knowing Chris Paul's personal business, but more along the lines of, I'm genuinely curious as to what protocols and results he has gotten that have forced him out for game 2, which a lot of people are considering the pivotal game. Now, granted, the Clips have been down 2-0 in the last 2 series and won both of them, But not having Kawhi is a big deal. CP3 being active to really punish the Clippers and put them away would be a big deal. Granted, Devin Booker, we're going to talk about the next segment, has been damn good. But Zoe, I selfishly, I really wish we knew what Chris Paul did and what protocols he broke that are now causing him to miss game 2 of this series.
You got to wonder, is it something embarrassing? And that's the reason why they're not bringing it. Or is it something embarrassing to the league? Maybe like going and getting some lemon pepper wings or something like that. I don't think Chris Paul would be that guy, but the lines of something like that, going somewhere that will not look good, not only for him, for maybe a sponsor, because we know he's really big in the advertising, or in the end, maybe it's just all to hold them down so they don't make NBA.
Here's the thing. You gotta, I got no issue with a conspiracy theorist on this one. Oh, do we have the music? Can we get the music? I'm curious.
Yeah, I set that whole thing up just so I could play this again.
Did the NBA cancel Chris Paul knowing that Kawhi Leonard was unavailable? Did the NBA force Chris Paul to sit out game 2 only to give the Clippers a chance without their superstar? Only time will tell. For now, we'll leave that decision up to you. Coming up next on The Rob Brown Show, something he told you for weeks comes true, according to someone he agrees with. I can't even come up with a good tease because this music's so good. Rob Brown agrees with Stephen A. Smith. Is it a conspiracy? You decide. Next on The Rob Brown Show on ESPN Update. I am just glad someone finds the dumb things I think are funny as I do.
Let's do this. Don't get in trouble. I'm already in trouble. Don't get worse trouble.
So a friend told me about Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, and his exact words were, "It changed my life. I used to spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to remove tomato sauce from inside our microwave and some off the bathtub. It's like seriously magic, and my secret weapon for cleaning the kitchen, bathroom, doors and walls, and even keeping my sneakers clean. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, greatest invention ever."
Mr. Clean Magic jackpot for Tuesday is $40 million to education lottery retailer, and take your tickets today. See SCHlottery.com.
They could not hear the conspiracy music.
Yeah, I screwed up.
Oh, okay. So it's not wrong. We just forgot.
No, it was just me.
Okay, just making sure.
Started thinking about it halfway through, but my attention is diverted somewhere else.
All good.
Something.
And the ads are running.
How?
I don't know.
No, they're not.
It's just said ad.
No, they're not.
Okay.
Unless they're hearing it through
one of our mics.
Yeah.
Yes, Thakis. I know exactly what you're talking about. Do you remember, Lonzo? There was a commercial that we ran for a while where a dude went, "Fan babies." Do you remember that? I don't remember what the commercial was for.
I think it might have been a promo or something.
It was a promo. It was a commercial for something. Fan baby. It was was it a Dr. Pepper ad?
It probably was Dr. Pepper. Yeah.
It had to be Dr. Pepper. It was like a college football ad.
1 minute.
I'll find it.
Watch that be the wrong length. At least something's in there. It's not the first time someone's used whispering as a, a background thing. Question is, did I put something subliminal in there so underneath it's saying, listen to the Rob Brown Show?
Oh, don't hate that. Record it in slow motion and backwards.
Yeah, but legally we can't do that.
Even as I guess you can't differentiate.
There's a subliminal law thing.
Oh, I see the other stacks. Yes, there was a Fan Babies ad. I don't remember. I want to say it was for Dr. Pepper, but I'm 100% going to go find it. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It's ESPN Upstate. Rob and Lonzo and you. That's Stephen A. Smith clip. So when you're ready, I'm not in a hurry. So one of the things that I've genuinely loved about this round of playoffs in the NBA is the fact that there is a dichotomy, an obvious dichotomy between both teams on both sides of the conference finals, right? One of them is on both sides. One team is very young and is built around a young star. The other two are very old and were built up through free agency. I look at the Atlanta Hawks, and when I see the Atlanta Hawks, I look at a team that is young. I think the third youngest in the NBA playoffs this year. Built around Trae Young, obviously, but they found pieces that complement him. John Collins has complemented him tremendously. Clint Capella has added to Trae Young's game. Kevin Huerter is a phenomenal outside piece that complements what Trae Young can do. Then I look and I see the Milwaukee Bucks. A team that has Giannis, and free agency around him. Drew Holiday has been one of the most underappreciated defensive players in the NBA. Rudy Gobert does the Defensive Player of the Year award, but Drew Holiday, he's a lockdown player for the Bucks. They went and they got veteran players through free agency to us. Over on the other side, it's the same thing. I look at the Phoenix Suns. Yes, they have CP3, who is a star in the league, but CP3 has been so good. And he's been so good because Devin Booker is a dog, man. I talked about Trae Young, and I feel the same about Devin Booker. Devin Booker is a young man who deserves all the praise. And you know it's true because A. Smith and I have agreed on like 4 things in my entire 14-year career. And Stephen A., myself, and Max Kellerman have all 3 been on the same page once. And it's about this that they said about Devin Booker.
Devin Booker is the next Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
I'm saying it on national television. Devin Booker
said it.
is the next Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
It is official. His first playoff appearance. And the brother's a number 1 option, averaging over 28, dropped 40 in a triple-double in the first game of the conference finals. And just the way he plays, he's an assassin. And guess what? This Clippers team, you need Kawhi back to knock that kid off.
What did I say before the series started? Devin Booker is a mini Mamba. He's the closest thing offensively to Kobe's game in the sense that he can kill you from anywhere. Yeah.
Kobe was his mentor as well.
Yeah, he's a mini Mamba.
Correct. And I'll tell you, it's not, I don't have quite as strong of an emotion about Trae Young. I need a little bit more out of Trae. I need him shooting better. And I think that shoulder is genuinely screwed up, honestly. I think that shoulder is genuinely screwed up. But I feel the same way about Trae Young to a lesser degree as I do Devin Booker. The dude is a killer, son. He's a killer. And CP3, who has gone different places and played with other guys, has not been able to benefit from a killer like Devin Booker. I go back to, what was it, Game 6? Game 6 in the last series, or the first series. Maybe it was and I think Game 3 of last series as well, where CP3 had a run of like 18 points in the third quarter that pretty much blew the doors off Utah. And you'll notice that most of CP3's points, they all came from elbow shots. They all came from mid-range jumpers. And the reason why is because Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton did that. DeAndre Ayton commanded attention at the block. Devin Booker can beat you from anywhere, so he could set up at the point. He could set up on the wing. He could set up on the opposite free throw line extended. Didn't matter where he set up. He commanded the defense to draw to him, and it opened the floor up for CP3. They built CP3 is a piece alongside Devin Booker, not the other way around. And it's obvious to me. Here's what I know. What I know is that coming into the year, none of y'all, myself included, none of y'all had the ATL Hawks or the Phoenix Suns in the conference championships. None of y'all did, myself included. I'm not throwing everybody else down. I'm telling you, hashtag I was wrong. I was in the same boat. None of y'all had them in the conference finals. Yet here they are. Why? And this is why I get so aggravated with the way that with the way that some of y'all talk about Zion. Oh, he needs to go to New York. Needs to go to Chicago. Needs to go to LA. Why? If a team is smart, as I hope the Pelicans will be, though it's not an easy thing to do, you can take a guy like a Devin Booker, a Trae Young, a Zion Williamson. You can build around him. The Hawks, the Suns, they did so through the draft with a couple of veteran free agents. They did it. They've done it. It's not by definition a small market team, though they're not. Atlanta, same story. They're not big market teams, but they are bigger. But they did it by getting some good lottery picks, getting some good draft picks, and drafting complementary pieces and not more superstars. It can be done. And these two teams did it. And I'll tell you right now, I think the Hawks can beat the Bucks. They're going to need Trae to shoot better than 24% through three quarters like he did in 2 or 3 of the games against Philly, but they can do it. And I know the Suns can beat the Clippers. I know the Suns can do it. So it just goes to prove that building an NBA team is not easy, but even small markets can build around a future superstar, Trae Young, Devin Booker. They can build with complementary pieces through the draft to be a dominant team. Can they together? Question mark. They can be done.
You know, this is why I'm rooting against Kawhi Leonard. I don't want him to be unhealthy. I want him to come back healthy, but I'm rooting against that team. I want to lose. I want to see that kind of finals and how competitive fun that will be. Just looking at it and not seeing the usual that we see every single year.
Look, I don't root for any sports out of Atlanta. All right. I don't root for sports out of Atlanta. But I'm a dog. And Devin Booker's kind of my dog. And Atlanta Phoenix finals is what I hope to see, because I hope that other NBA teams will look at what Atlanta did, look at what Phoenix did, and say, we can do that with a young stud. And I'm hoping selfishly that the Pels will do that around Zion Williamson. Look at how Atlanta built, how Phoenix built around Book, because it leads to, you can see it when we come back here in just a minute from right now. McCaffrey, I've been talking about this for like 2 weeks. That's not true. I've been talking about it for like 2 days, but I have not gotten to it. I get to it now. Christian McCaffrey pointed out hypocrisy in college football, and he was dead on right. And he's got a major D1 coach with his tail between his legs. I'll tell you what, when we come back on the Rob Brown Show, it's ESPN Upstate.
going on through July 14th. You can sign up right now. How's about groceries for an entire month? This is pretty expensive right now. The fact that the health care is buy you groceries for an entire month. So that's something right now, isn't it? You know what the major is? The fact that you're going to get healthy. You're going to lose weight. 30 days guaranteed or your money back. If you look good in 30 days, 30 days. And the reason why the healthcare can buy groceries, you're totally thinking they're going to buy you, or buy you shakes. You're not going to have any of that stuff. Because with the healthcare, you can eat real food. Absolutely real food. And they're going to buy that food for you for 1 month. If you chose it. Listen, this is not a diet. It's a plan. Diets don't work, plans do. It's a simple plan when it comes to the healthcare offices. They sit you down, you look at them, and you go, Lonzo's right. Yeah, you know why? Because you can. Absolutely can. You're going to get healthy from the cellular level. You're going to look good, you're going to feel good, you have the energy to face the day. And if you act now, I know you've been putting it off, and you think, okay, I'm just waiting, that's a good deal, but I need a little something else. Well, there it is. If you sign up. And it's so easy to get started with the healthcare. Just go to idareme.com. Fill out some information. One of the healthcare coaches will bring you in for a free consultation, get you on the way to losing that weight. Buy one, get one free. And get free groceries. Go to idareme.com today. When you're there, make sure you tell us that line there.
What you got going on?
They keep saying the spot's not in there, and I'm looking at it, and I put it in, and I listened to it. You heard me listening to it. There's like 10 people on this channel.
Getting that love from the Spartan Burgers. My buddy Jeremy just bought a new fire pit. The drummer in my band just purchased a new fire pit, and that is slick. You know what else is slick? Just for if you have not heard the news yet. Just hold this up every break, the whole break. Just leave this on the stream.
Nobody else. God.
Wrapping up our numero dos here on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate. Rob, Lonzo, you coming up in 2 minutes. We're going to give you your next keyword to win a grand on the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate. Wanted to get into the run CMC thing, but just realized we're way off the clock, so I'm not going to have time here. I'll bring that up to start the next hour. So I'll say this instead because we've got about a minute and a half. NASCAR. How about this, Lonzo? I kind of think this is awesome. NASCAR has hired Alvin Kamara. Yes, that Alvin Kamara, running back for my New Orleans Saints. Alvin Kamara has been hired by NASCAR in official capacity as their first ever growth and engagement advisor. Kamara said, quote, "I'm excited they carved out a role for me. I got an office. I got a key card. I feel like I never had a job besides the NFL, so now I got 2 jobs. Sean Payton is going to have to give me some downtime." And quote, he tweeted at Payton, "Kind of got a new job. We got to figure something out," with 2 checkered flag emojis. Sean Payton responded, "Congratulations. I'll send over my mariachi band to celebrate. Now, can I get a little peace and quiet?" End quote. He is basically been hired as, for lack of a better word, an influencer. He grew up near Atlanta, went to college at Tennessee, just recently became a fan of NASCAR during the break. The COVID break, he got into it. He was invited out to ride a pace car, drop a green flag, et cetera, et cetera. Now is not only a team, is growth and engagement manager. Lonzo, I love this from NASCAR. I love this from them. It's opening up doors that NASCAR has not been known for opening up in the past. Talk about a sport trying to grow itself.
It's very cool, and it's surprising. I saw that, and I was like, okay, why is Alvin Kamara doing this? I didn't know the background.
Yeah, I'll bring this up. We'll talk more about it coming up in just a minute. But we got to get your $1,000 cash dash keyword here for the 2 o'clock hour. The 2 o'clock hour keyword is run, R-U-N, like run to your phone. Grab it and text run, R-U-N, to 72881. We have now had 5 winners from our area of $1,000 on the $1,000 cash dash from ESPN Upstate. Text run, R-U-N, to 72881 for your chance to be number 6. We'll hit both of those stories when we come back. The Alvin Kamara story out of NASCAR, Christian McCaffrey roasting Scott Frost on Twitter. That's all next on the Rob Brown Show at ESPN Upstate. Thank you, Miss Lisa. Alonzo did all the hard work. I just showed up and looked pretty. But he is.
That's implying that I also don't look pretty. And I'll have you know, I used to be the fat.
Fabio. You just go Fabio? Can that be a new name? Right now. We have 2.
There's a, I'd share I'm not sure you'd watch it because you didn't watch the other thing. So
I did watch the other thing. The Making the Band was phenomenal. Your efforts at choreographed dancing were, I'm trying to decide if that was a real effort that you just taped or what percentage of that was hammed in.
That was scripted. That's how I wanted it. I picked out who was supposed to bump into who, so we could, it's if you knew the show at the time and knew the characters on the show, how opposite a lot of that was made it funnier. But Zach and Chris is the narrator. In case you didn't know, yeah. Zach, whose nickname was Angry Zach, for most of the time that he was here, it just fit in perfect. But
he's sitting at the table and he's like, "No, I'm not mad."
I love the Thaddeus thing. I wrote that in just so he'd say Thad, because I knew how he would. Yeah. I knew how he would. Again, I had a whole thing scripted out. The next one was going to be in Mark's office as a GM, as going to be my.
Go to more episodes?
I wrote a bunch of stuff, and I had the ideas all panned out.
Did you do them?
No, because people quit or they got fired. Each individual was going to get their own episode as to why they decided to come back with the band. Mine was bankruptcy, and my agent, which would have been in Mark's office, was going to tell me, you do this or you're going to jail. So, I mean, I had all stuff planned out, and it just, unfortunately, that's how radio goes sometimes. I called myself the Fat Fabio all the time when I was really fat.
That's a great name.
Just because it was hilarious. And because you saw that one video where I did everything I do it for you with the hair flowing. Yeah, it's because of that.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate, your 2021 Star Award finalist for the best sports show / sports talk show in the great state of South Carolina. The Rob Brown Show, with Lonzo doing all the heavy lifting, is live on ESPN Upstate.
We may have to redo the intro. Get the voice guy to say that. Because it sounds even more official if the voice guy says that.
I kind of don't hate the idea. I can scream it all day. But when you get an announcer guy to say it.
Yeah, when
it's real.
When this guy comes on there and he's got that delivery, then it sinks in. It's really like, wow.
Yeah. We should do that. I completely agree.
I have his email address. I could just send him something and ask him to voice it.
Now
I have that power. It can be vetoed, and as long as someone's not listening right now, they could veto me. But
or do it off until we end up with trophy, or we don't.
Hey, either way, we've already won. So I mean, we've either got second place or we won the whole thing. So we'll see.
I've looked it up. The group we're up against is out of Columbia. So they kind of have home field advantage on this.
Except for the voting is sent to another state. So that's how
so the chance that like some of the people on the voting committee that decide would affiliations that would be to our detriment.
More than likely, no. And we had a guy who was fill in while Will Pelagic, who is in Charlotte right now. And he used to do that. He used to get submissions sent to him because I wasn't sure. I was like, do they really send these? He's like, yeah, I was in this state and I've done those before. So I believe that, that's how that works. So, and they do that so you don't get, the people who are prone to vote to one side or another. So people are just listening to it and deciding best. And so we'll see.
I found during one of the breaks earlier. I
know I'm stammering there, but you know what it is I'm just so excited that I'm going to have trouble sleeping tonight.
Oh, it's absolutely giddy. I found, though, during a break a couple of segments ago, I found a website you can have made championship wrestling belts made. And I can go ahead and tell you that if we win this award, Lonzo, we're getting tag team title belts to hang on the office door. They're hanging on the door, not the inside where you can only see if you come in the office. They're hanging on the door of this studio.
I just, ever the company guy, I'm just, and not wanting to spend my own money. This would be a great sponsorship opportunity for someone. If sales is listening, you could maybe get a local business that wants to sponsor our championship belts.
We will etch your logo onto the side plates.
There we go. Hey,
we will etch your logo onto the side plates.
There ain't no selling out here.
No,
none at all.
All right, two stories I want to get to open up the hour. The one we were talking about just a moment ago, which is that of NASCAR. So last year during the pandemic, Alvin Kamara and a handful of other NFL players, but Kamara was probably the most high profile, got super into NASCAR, right? He started watching during the pandemic. There was one day, and I remember it because I was laughing hysterically at it. Alvin Kamara apparently just kind of accidentally stumbled across a NASCAR race on TV and was like, what the heck, man, I'll watch it. Then he started tweeting about it and basically asking questions of NASCAR people. Why are they doing this? How are they doing that? Alvin Kamara did, Lonzo, what I've been telling people for years is number one way to get somebody to buy into a sport, which is dive in, ask questions, learn. And you'll see when you start talking to people who have a passion for that sport, you'll see exactly what it is about that sport that intrigued them such, yeah? And that's what happened.
Do you think those people knew who he was, though?
I can't imagine anybody. I mean, anybody with any loose NFL knowledge doesn't know.
Yeah, but I've known NASCAR that have no interest or any knowledge of football at all.
Sure.
And so I think that's cooler, and that points out how accommodating that fan base are, that even if they didn't know who he was, that they were willing to educate him about the sport.
So Alvin Kamara is going around on Twitter, and he gets a lot of NASCAR fans who, as I did when it happened, recognize the value to the sport of an NFL All-Pro back being intrigued and wanting to learn. So they did. And then NASCAR, because they're smart. I will ask you this question. If I ask you to name me the sports that you think best handled themselves during the pandemic, what sport do you think did the best job of handling itself during the pandemic? Just stab in the dark. Whatever, any reason you think.
See, it's like, I know you want me to say NASCAR.
I do.
I know. So I'm going to go.
Not obligated to.
I am going to go with, sincerely, NASCAR.
Yeah. That is the correct answer to Struggs. You're into the cam.
Not everyone saw that, but they should if they were watching on the stream.
The answer is NASCAR. Sincerely, NASCAR did the best job during the pandemic, right? For a number of reasons. Number one, when sports were canceled and nobody could go anywhere, what did all the sports do? A lot of them just shut down. What did NASCAR do? They sent racing rigs to a bunch of regular NASCAR drivers. They said, set this up in your living room, and they held virtual races that were, I'll be honest with you, damn near as fun as races from a NASCAR fan. All right? They were phenomenal. Then, in the midst of all of the, and this is a personal one, not all of you will agree, but that's okay. That's why we have phone lines. In the midst of all the protests and everything, what did NASCAR do? NASCAR bought in. They had that moment where all the drivers came out and gathered around Bubba Wallace's car. They banned the Confederate battle flag from racetracks because they wanted people to feel welcome. Well, this is the next step. NASCAR has hired Alvin Kamara as their new director of engagement. I don't remember exactly the title, but long story short, they brought Alvin in and they said, hey, man, we want you to take what you utilize, what you learn as a new fan of the sport from somebody who comes from a different walk of life, who maybe was never interested in NASCAR before. We want you to take what you learned and how you felt going into all of this, and we want you to come up with a way to engage new fans. Now, here's why I bring that up. This was a brilliant move from NASCAR. Alvin Kamara opens a door. Scratch that. Alvin helps to shove open a door that Bubba Wallace started opening, all right, that other teams and drivers have started opening. But Alvin Kamara is the most high-profile guy. Because the thing, if you're not a NASCAR fan, you might not know who Bubba Wallace is. So while he opened the door, it's not crazy accessible, yeah? If you are a sports fan, specifically from a demographic that NASCAR is not known for catering to, you know who Alvin Kamara is. And if Kamara comes out and says, hey, this sport's awesome. It's kind of fun. It's kind of once you actually learn about it, get into it, then you're more likely to buy in. We have spent how much time in the last year, Lonzo? How much time have we spent asking, how can baseball grow its audience? How can the NFL grow its audience? How can the NBA? All of these sports in the last year or two have experienced slowdowns in new fans. And I know the reason why. It's because so much more is accessible now. Back in the day, even in my childhood, you know, video games were what you did with a friend or two on your system in your house, and there was no Twitch, there were YouTube video YouTube content creators were the thing. There weren't 350 television channels. You had the NFL on Sundays, and that's just what you did. But that's not the thing anymore. There are a billion things to occupy your time. If you're just kind of a mild sports fan, how do you grow? And the answer.
All right, so I have to do this. Rob Brown just went old man.
I did.
You absolutely went old man.
No, that's true. I didn't go full old man because I'm not complaining that it used to be better, right?
You did go back in my day.
I did.
You did do that.
I did. I am older than all of the athletes that we talk about now. Like that's why when they talk about Tom Brady, ancient Tom Brady, that old withered man that still goes that Tom Brady is 4 years older than me, Lonzo. 4. And he's ancient. He's the crypt keeper. 4 years older than me. The guys I'm watching
still looks like a kid to me, but you know.
The guys that it turns out money helps you age slower. I don't know if you do that. The secret to youth is cash. All right. I'm watching the College World Series right now. Texas and Tennessee. Loser goes home. Yeah. Loser goes home. By the way, NC State Vanderbilt. You didn't watch that game last night? You missed out, son. A 1-0 win, and the only difference of the game was 1 home run. Phenomenal baseball game. Anyway, all these kids on this field, many of whom will be playing in Major League Baseball next year, though, they were born in 2003 when I was graduating high school. All right? So, yes, back in my day, I had to walk uphill to school. All right, back in my day, sports were what you did because there wasn't anything else to do. It's what you did. Now, you can open a laptop, not move more than a couple of feet, and there are 10 million things to do if you're not a sports fan. So how do you grow your sport? I would argue, Lonzo, that this hiring, this partnering up with Alvin Kamara opens a door that NASCAR has previously kept closed for many years. I would argue that between what they did in the pandemic last year, doing the virtual races, being the first sport to come back, embracing Bubba Wallace, making NASCAR a more open and fan-friendly of all types of fans environment, and now adding Alvin Kamara to their roster, Lonzo, I would argue NASCAR is doing a better job of opening their doors to new fans than any professional sport in the United States right now.
You know, this appears to be a great move, but just like any move, we need to wait and see if it brings dividends, which I mean, for this to be successful, how much does he need to grow the fan base?
I don't know.
Is even one?
So I don't know what they're paying Alvin Kamara. I don't know if they're paying Alvin Kamara. He says he's got an office with food. That's kind of a big deal, right? And they're paying something. But if Alvin Kamara gets 2% of the audience that knows who Alvin Kamara is, that NASCAR has not been open to in the past. That's a huge growth. That's a noticeable growth. All right, second story I wanted to get to before we get out of here, because I got to get before we hit the Twitter trending topics. Christian McCaffrey. Speaking of, I don't know, Zoe, top 2 running backs in the league. Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey.
It depends on which side of the glass you're talking to.
Do you agree that they are 2 of the top running backs in the league?
Yes, I would agree that they're both
I didn't
2.
ask what order.
Okay,
I just
all
said,
right.
are they?
Yes.
Who's better?
Chris McCaffrey.
No. But another argument for another day.
Oh,
Alvin Kamara is better than Christian McCaffrey.
Can't wait till football season.
Oh, 100%. Alvin Kamara is better than Christian McCaffrey, but we'll put that aside for the time being. Christian McCaffrey is still I'm still a huge fan of Run CMC, even as a rival. All right. I respect that guy. Here's the deal. Scott Frost is the coach at Nebraska. Brother, Luke, was a player there who has transferred out of Nebraska. He went elsewhere. Scott Frost, without mentioning Luke's name, decided to make a run at Luke McCaffrey, Run CMC's little bro. Decided to take a run at the dude. Okay? Mitch Sherman is a reporter in Nebraska who covers Husker football. And he sent out a tweet that said, quote, more words on the wild nature of transfer portal from Scott Frost, who referenced Luke McCaffrey without mentioning his name. Buckle up, because this isn't the last time you're going to see this. And then he had some more disparaging comments about players to enter the transfer portal. And Run CMC decided to up and take teams from this. Quote, hold on. Didn't you transfer? PSA to all recruits. Take note on how a coach treats his players once they're no longer useful to him. Hashtag, come on, man. And then added Scott Frost on Twitter. Now, what did he mean by that? Well, what he meant by that is that back during his playing days, Lonzo, Scott Frost was a member of the Stanford Cardinal football team. Scott Frost was a college football player who played the game at the collegiate level. And after a couple of years, do you know what happened? Do you know what Scott Frost did, Lonzo, in 1995?
I am just guessing that he transferred.
Correct. In 1995, Scott Frost, guy who went off on former Nebraska players who have transferred out of the program on his watch, has popped them and said, oh, guys are going to do what's best for they're selfish. They're not team guys. We're better off without them. In 1995, Lonzo, Scott Frost transferred from Stanford to Nebraska in 1995. 2 seasons started for the Huskers. He played quarterbacks. He was 24-2, 192 of 359 for 2,677 yards, 18 touchdowns, including a senior season in which he became the first player for Nebraska and only the 10th player in college football history to both rush and pass for over 1,000 yards in the same season. Set the school record for rushing touchdowns with 19 and yards total with, 2,315-ish. I'm trying to do math in my head. I'm not good at it. Anyway, point is, Scott Frost transferred as a player. And then 36 years later, has the stones to go after players who ... transferred. Let me just give a fist bump and a knowing nod of approval to Christian McCaffrey for calling out the hypocrisy and the BS of Scott Frost Rules for thee, but not for me.
Yeah, that's a serious burn. Before we get to all right. Now, this is kind of breaking news. According to David Newton, the Panthers, as expected, announced that the Ravens will practice in Spartanburg on August 18th and 19th.
Nice.
So, chance to see Lamar up close.
Yeah, buddy. We will. Fingers crossed, be there. I'd love to see Lamar up close. Lamar's probably trying to think of anybody else, but I think Lamar is my only can't miss lock guaranteed superstar of the future draft pick of the last 5 or 6 years. The only guy that I'm that dude is a Hall of Famer before he even gets on the field. That guy's a Hall of Famer. I think he's the only one. So cool. See him in person. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, there was a bit of news yesterday out of the National Football League that is going to make some people uncomfortable, and I'm not worried about it. We're going to play it anyway because it is a big deal, even though some people think it's not. Big deal to me. We'll get your reaction, too. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. This is The Rob Brown Show. The 2021 Best Sports Show in the state of South Carolina, nominated Rob Brown Show with Robin the Low.
Zoe and down low, you know.
Word.
Yo.
Word. It's ESPN Upstate. Where did I get low? Oh, crap. At least I said, where did I get low, as opposed to what the F was I doing? Which I would not say. Have I ever told the story how I ingrained in my brain never talk around a microphone unless you want people to hear it?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Let me use the restroom. I'll tell you that story.
Should I take it out of utility?
No, it's fine. I've told the story. I think I've told the story. Yeah, I've told the story on here. So a number of years ago, I had a female co-host on my show, and we were at a break. Also, the spring has a felt cover on it, so you can't pitch your finger. How are all springs not made this way? Anyway,
I've spent a good portion of the show trying to figure out where the heck you got that
just
from.
laying here.
Okay.
Are all these like this? Nope. The ones that I actually use aren't. Anyway, I had a female co-host, and we were on a break. We had an intern producer, and he left the mic on, and she was pregnant but didn't know it. Or she knew it, obviously, but she was pregnant, and she told us. She's like, I haven't told my husband because we're thinking about getting a divorce. I want him to make his decision before I tell him, because I want her to make the decision without knowing. Except for her mic was on, so she announced to the entire listening audience, including her husband, that she knew and didn't plan on him. He showed up at the studio a few minutes later. I used to say she was not on the show the rest of the day. So now,
was she on the show the next day?
she was.
Okay.
She was not in a great mood, surprisingly. And so anyway, from that point forward, if I'm in a room with a microphone on it, I don't say something I wouldn't say on air.
I have gotten used to, because of Saturday, of always being on.
Yeah.
Especially when we're doing the stream thing.
Yep.
So you also take into account some things we discuss maybe people won't entirely understand because it's so inside.
True. Oh, I'm going to get Tony Gwynn Jr. on the show later this week after he gets a couple of days to evaluate the sticky stuff.
That was a great interview last time.
Yes, it was.
I'm looking for an email that I haven't received yet. Did you stop by after the show? Yes, even award-winning producers can get in trouble.
You ever watch Parks and Rec?
No.
There's an episode where Ron Swanson wins the Female of the Year award over Leslie Knope, and she's like super upset about it. And he's being really snarky to her. And she says, "That's not the attitude of an award winner." And he said, "Everything I do is the behavior of an award winner, as I have won an award." The Rock rolls on. It is ESPN Upstate. Wanted to look. This isn't necessarily anything I think is going to be a huge topic of conversation, but it's something I think is noteworthy in the history of the National Football League. I'm assuming Zoe knows the clip that I'm having queued up. Let's, just go ahead and roll it, and then we'll talk about it on the flip side.
What's up, people? I'm Carl Nassib. I'm at my house here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Just want to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, but I finally feel comfortable enough to get it off my chest. I really have the best life. I got the best family, friends, and job a guy could ask for. I'm a pretty private person, so I hope you guys know that I'm really not doing this for attention. I just think that representation and visibility are so important. I actually hope that one day videos like this coming out process are just not necessary. But until then, I'm going to do my best to do cultivated coaching that's compassionate, and I'm going to start by donating $100,000 to the Trevor Project. They're an incredible organization. They're the #1 suicide prevention service for LGBTQ youth in America, and they're truly doing incredible things. And I'm very excited to be a part of it, to help in any way that I can. And I'm really pumped to see what the future holds.
Carl Nassib, first openly gay player in the National Football League. Michael Sam, a number of years ago, the linebacker out of Mizzou that went on to be drafted by the Rams, was the first to be drafted, and now Nassib becomes active player to who will play after coming out. Says that it is important for representation, is important for visibility, and I think it's a noteworthy moment. I've seen a lot of people. Why is this a big deal? Why are we talking about it? Because he is the first. We celebrate people who are the first to do something, especially when we've already seen. There was one player yesterday who I won't name, Twitter said, and what he thought was a moment of support, said, "This is why I was always the last to shower," right? And it's like, dude, that's the point, because this has been a platform for years where people have felt, they have not felt like it was safe to be the person that they are, because there was going to be backlash. And don't tell me there's not. I literally yesterday heard someone, when this story was being talked about out in public, go, I don't know why we let slur play in the NFL. Why would we let slur, plural, play in the NFL? That's why this is a moment. That's why this is a moment, because this young man gets to now be a role model for people, for kids who are of the same orientation as him, but are afraid to live out loud, to be themselves. Now they've got somebody. Why is it a big deal? I'm sure that when Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier 75 years ago, there were people who were going, why is it a big deal? Well, because he was the first black player who got to be on the field and got to play. And there were young kids, black kids around the country who wanted to play baseball, who were told, this is not a game for you. This is not a place for you. You are not welcome here. Heck, even after he did it, Jackie Robinson, you can go right now online and you can see actual notes that were threatening to kill him. There was one guy in particular, I remember reading the letters. There was one guy who wrote into him, you will retire or I will kill you at a game, and then wrote down Jackson 3 weeks of traveling. I will be there and I will not tell you which game, but he threatened him. He said, we'll either have a rifle from the top of the stadium or I will bring a handgun to the bottom of the stadium, but I will get close enough and I will kill, right? It'd be great if Jackie wouldn't have been a moment of celebration because it was just the guy who played a game. That life who are still threatened. It's not. It's a genuine threat for them to be open and out. And now this young man, Carl Nassib, has kicked that door open. And yes, I have friends who are gay actively today. Some here in the hood that are celebrating because now they have an athlete who is living their life, is a representative of them, right? We all connect with people in sports who you tell me right now. And here's the exact conversation. If you are a Clemson fan, there are some of you that are college football fans and not NFL fans. And there are some of you that are going to watch the NFL this year only to watch Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne. And the only reason you're watching them is because they also came from Clemson like you did. They represent you on a big level. I do that with athletes from the places that I lived. I've done that. Emmitt Smith from Pensacola. I loved him growing up. Why? Because he was from Pensacola. He's from where I'm from. In MMA. Always loved Daniel Cormier. Why? Because he's from New Orleans. He's where I'm from. He's one of my guys. We all do it. We all have athletes that we like because they are representative. They're from where we're from, or they like they support what we support. We all do it. Except that this community did not have anybody in the NFL from their camp, and now they do. Julian Edelman tweeted out, awesome moment. Roger Goodell put out a whole statement about it. The Raiders sent out a tweet. Proud of you, Carl. Saquon Barkley, much respect, brother. Jason Collins, very proud of Carl Nassib. Incredibly happy for him and can't wait to watch him play this upcoming season. Sean Merriman, former linebacker for the Chargers. Congrats on coming out. That's a big step. I think that most players are concerned if you can play or not, nothing else. Let's see. Tay Davis, respect my guy. Fist bump emoji. Billie Jean King, sending love and support to Carl Nassib of the Raiders, who has bravely made history as the first active NFL player to come out. He has also donated $100K to the Trevor Project. Gay kids are 5 times more likely to commit suicide than straight kids. And the Trevor Project has done a study on this. You can go look at it yourself on their website. They have said that the risk of suicide of a gay kid drops by something like 70% if they have one accepting adult. One. Not somebody who tries to change them, but somebody who says, we accept you for who you are. We want you to be who you are. Now they have somebody to represent them, and I think it's a big moment. I think it's a big moment in the NFL. Yes, I agree with Carnassim. I hope one day that this isn't news. I hope someday it's not news, that we don't care. But for now it is. All right, 844-477-3776, 844-GSP-ESPN. Text us on the Ingles Market text line 71307. Yesterday on Offsides with Mark Ryan, they got a call that I was fascinated by. And that individual has now texted our show, and we are absolutely bringing it up. And I will tell you, I'm going to try to help. I don't know if I can, but Lonzo, as a 2021 Star Award nominee for Best Show in South Carolina, I feel like we have some weight to throw around now. So Lonzo and I are going to see if we can help coming up next on The Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Did you hear the call I'm talking about yesterday? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't listen to that show. Wanted to make sure that, that was him, and
Like they did on to specifically.
and hopefully he was listening.
There was a guy yesterday who called and said that his a friend of his passed away from cancer last week, who was a huge Gamecocks fan. His funeral was Gamecock themed, and he wants to.
I saw the post.
The tweet about it. Yeah. So he texted the show, and I'm happy.
Listen, I know pain, and I've seen firsthand how powerful biologic therapies can be. Patients at QC Kinetics.
Why do I have Kickstart My Heart in my head?
I think your heart was kick-started earlier today when I came in and said congratulations, but that's,
Kickstart my heart. Oh, that was not good.
the look on your face when I did that and walked out. That was great. That was so much fun.
Dude. Congratulations. Door closes.
I had a minute and a half left in the break. I just saw the news, but I wanted to let you know as soon as I possibly could, but I couldn't hang around or I'd be making 2 visits to the office today.
Ricky Starks just tweeted out, all I'm saying is I think IPA beer tastes terrible. So I said when a heel finds a way to heel turn even heelier.
And Nikki Cross just tweeted a picture of Hurricane and Rosie. Did you see what she did last night?
That was a weird spot because on one hand, I hate it. It's worked. Super Molly Holly did it. Hurricane Helms did it.
Yeah, and Rosie, which I'm looking at right now. Yeah.
And now Nikki's doing it. My immediate reaction was like,
I like Crazy Nikki best.
Yes.
Because it was, we saw her live in Spartanburg with NXT, and when she come out was smacking herself, you could see the red marks go. I was like, this girl is crazy. I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're bringing back out an old trope that 3 people have already done. I don't know. Maybe she'll be able to pull it off.
But how long ago was it? The last time there was a superhero?
I mean,
it's been a while.
Helms was there at the Royal Rumble this year.
Yeah,
Granted,
but
he's not in his prime, but it was this year. But then it came out that it was her idea. She wanted to do this. She brought it up. So, like, I'm not going to disparage her for wanting to create something. And look, it'll be super over with kids.
Right.
Kids love this character, so I guess I get it.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out because when they go back in front of crowds really soon, we'll find out what kind of reaction she gets. Because right now, you don't have Bailey anymore, so you don't have that female wrestler that connects with the little kids anymore. So I mean, there's a market for it.
I don't know if I go that far. I mean, there's no
who is
cartoonish John Cena anymore. I guess.
Hey, just one thing about Bailey, whether you liked her or not. I mean, when she was during the hugger phase,
it was so good.
Her full-on laughing on all the screens of Thunderdome was
Awesome.
Yeah, it was
kind of good.
Imagine that being you doing that and seeing your face up there. On that would be.
I'm not saying that
I'd have to stop and look at me a little bit, just because going, oh, this is so cool. I'm fascinated by multiple TV thing. I've always wanted to do a wall of TVs.
Dude, if we could find a way to set up if we can find 4 or 5 monitors that we could run across the bottom down there as our own mini Thunderdome, I would set up my laptop with a Zoom call to invite people in just to give them each their own screen. I bet we could find a way to do that. I don't hate having our own mini Thunderdome.
We are thinking really big.
I know.
I like it.
But when you are the 2021 Star Lord finalist for best show in the state, you find a way to think big.
Well, yeah, you're looking for the next step. Don't be complacent. 30 seconds. I haven't received that email yet, so maybe I won't, or maybe I'll get a visit, an in-person visit. Those are worse. And those spots were not there. We come in here and now they're there.
So, yesterday on Offsides, young man by the name of Jack called into the show. Jack said that he had a friend named Travis who was taken too early by cancer last week, which, for those of you who don't know, I lost my dad to cancer. You can very frequently find me around the upstate with a shirt that says F cancer on it. All right. It's something I can sympathize with, unfortunately, more than a lot of people. Right. And it was like his friend Travis was a huge Gamecocks fan. It says he texted us on the Ingles Market text line at 71307. Says his funeral was a garnet and black event capped off with a muscle car send off. Said South Carolina helped with all of that. Wanted to see if he could get his friend's ashes spread at Williams Brice Stadium. Wanted to spread his friend's ashes in the stadium. Said that he was told that that our show might be able to help with that. And I know that Offsides was in the same. I would like to make abundantly clear. I don't need to put out a poll asking if this is something that should be allowed. I'm straight up saying it should be allowed. All right? Should absolutely be allowed. Right? It doesn't have to be like a huge deal. But if you got a lifelong fan, let it go, man. Let it happen. Let it happen.
All right. So I was look this up. In South Carolina, there are no state laws controlling where you may keep or scatter ashes. So, and according to this, cremation renders ashes harmless. So there's public health risk involved in scattering ashes. Because that's the first thing I thought of was, can you do this? Is there a law against doing this? So there isn't one. So this will be up to the university.
So here's what I'm asking. If any of you out there in the listening audience right now have any sort of connection that would help with this, all right? I want this to happen. I'm going to try to help. I'm going to try to push for this to happen. I want this to happen. If any of y'all out there have any sort of connection to the university, whether it's through a book club, if you're somebody in the athletics department, I don't even care. I don't care at what level, all right? I don't care if it's in air. If any of y'all in the listening audience of ESPN Upstate have a connection with somebody at the university in the athletic department, whether it's to the booster club, maybe even they work at the school. If y'all have a connection that we could help get this young man, if we could help get this young man to fulfill his friend's request and get his ashes spread, Williams Brice, a huge lifelong Gamecocks fan, I would be much obliged to you. All right. I would be much obliged to you. If you have a connection at any level that might help us help get this young man his wish to get his friend's ashes spread at Williams Brice, I mean, even if it's off to the side of the field in the bushes. Right?
Well, the question is, does it have to be during the game, or does that matter?
I doubt he's going to have much preference, right? Like, let's just get him on the field. Let's just get him in the stadium where the players play. Let's just get him in there. If anybody has a connection that can help with this, you can text 844-477-3776, 844-GSP-ESPN. Jack texted in, asked for this to happen. Said this was his friend's last wish. This is what he wanted to happen. All right. So if you have a connection, email me, Rob Brown at ESPNUpstate.com. If you have a connection to somebody at South Carolina in the athletics department, at the university itself, that we might be able to reach out to try to fulfill a lifelong South Carolina fan's final wish, I would be much obliged and owe you one. Rob Brown at ESPNUpstate.com is the email address. Rob Brown, ROBBROWN at ESPNUpstate.com. We would love to help make this happen. It is now a goal. I will see if I have any connections that I can make work this to make this work. If you do, Rob Brown at ESPNUpstate.com. This would be very, very cool. Very, very cool if we can find a way to make this happen. I can't make any promises to you, Jack, but I'm absolutely going to try. If any of y'all have a connection, Rob Brown at ESPNUpstate.com. Would absolutely love for you to reach out. Let me know, and we'll see if we can make this work to make this young man's final wish come through. All right, let's take a break. Come back. Twitter trending topics. Lonzo, I almost called you low again, and I don't know where this is coming from. Lonzo tells me what's trending on Twitter. I give you 30 to 45 seconds of what I know about it. If I don't know anything about it, I make it up, like most of my career, which got us number best sports talk show in the state of South Carolina. This on ESPN Upstate. Somebody has written in to say that if we can, worst case scenario, they'll fly their drone over and dump it out of their drone.
No, I think there is a law against that.
Are you shopping for a new home? With a zero closing cost mortgage from Cap Center, you could save thousands of dollars compared to other lenders.
This is my
I can't understand why Tout your home buying costs. Visit capcenter.com. Equal housing lender. Visit capcenter.com for rate savings and offer limitations. This ad contains real client feedback voiced by actors. NMLS ID 677LS consumeraccess.org.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters and a game at a time. The type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Spring is in the air, and the Upstate Golf Cart is now on sale. For just $99, get rounds of golf at 9 premier Upstate courses like Lingsel Tryon, The Rock, Pebble Creek, and more.
So since I am now very limited on Saturdays, that means I'm either have to put together a best of for August 18th or pre-record a show and get someone to play it.
Say that again.
The only time I ever miss on Saturday nights is for Star Awards. I missed for vacation once. Every other time has been for Star Awards. So,
Well, I was going to volunteer to fill in for you, but
well, when it comes time, you can volunteer to be on the recorded show if you want.
True.
But we're still a couple months away.
when is that? Do you know?
August 18th, I believe is what it said. I could look the email back up, but then I'll just get happy again, and I don't want to do that.
Did we get a +1 to that? Solid, maybe. Yep.
So I will say you can, sometimes you can, but you can purchase a ticket, but I will tell you that the ticket is pretty expensive.
Yeah.
I took my wife one time. I think I had to pay a pretty good bit, but she really wanted to go. And it was good because we won 3 awards. I won 3 awards, and the station won, the WLRD won Station of the Year, which is nominated for again this year. So, but it was pretty cool because she got to see me run from the back of the place and scare a local weather person to death because she snubbed me the year before to push past me to talk to other people.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to get her back. And I leapt stage and it scared her.
Leapt onto.
Oh, I left. I ran. I had a big top and it was deep the entire time. There's a video somewhere. I'll find it and show it to you. But yeah, it was worth it. And she knew why I did it. She laughed afterwards. She could tell that's why I did that. So.
Keegan is volunteer to fill in for you on the Upstate Pulse if you ever need it. Keegan and I could host that show if you ever needed it.
I was going to say, why would I miss that show other than to bring home some hardware? All right, time for Twitter trending topics where I tell Rob what is trending in the world, and he will tell us why it is trending. The first thing that's trending is Master P.
Master P is trending.
Oh, you're going to love this.
Fire away.
Master P has volunteered to be the next coach of the New Orleans Pelicans.
His son is a good player. His son's a really good little baller. Here's the deal.
So you're not down for that. Not down for Master P.
No. And it's no disrespect to Master P, but here's the thing. you got to have a coach that gets this team bought in, right? You got 2 more years with Zion before it's time for him to decide, should I stay or should I go now? You got to have a guy who makes this team click. Brandon Ingram is very good. Zion is very good. You got a good little team built around them of core talent. You got a, and by the way, the NBA lottery's tonight, and the Pelicans have like a 21% chance of being inside the top 4. So you're going to get another piece potentially. And if not, they still own like 8 first-round picks over the next 4 or 5 years. I mean, they are stocked to do exactly what the Atlanta Hawks have done around Trae Young. And Zion's better than Trae. All right, Zion's better than Trae. You got to go get there. And I don't know if it's Rick Carlisle out of Dallas. A lot of folks in Dallas are saying that the reason he decided to split wasn't because of Luka, but because him and the team just butted heads so much that the team eventually was like, dude, you got to go. And he decided to take the step first. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I don't know if Rick Carlisle's the guy or Teresa Weatherspoon or somebody else, but you got one shot at it. I'm down for a stunt coach if the team's really good, but not like this.
All right, the next thing trending is Avril Lavigne.
I do know why this is trending. Can I tell you that I'm pretty sure Avril Lavigne is like the modern day Dorian Gray? All right. There's a portrait, a painting of Avril Lavigne in a closet somewhere where she actually looks like she's almost 40. But she put a TikTok, I think, where she was singing the song Skater Boy, which if you don't remember that song, don't go listen on Spotify because it'll be stuck in your head for about 3 months. All right.
He was a skater boy.
She said, see you later, boy. He wasn't good enough for her. Yeah, it's a great. I love Avril Lavigne. Judge me as you will.
You need to mention who was on that TikTok.
So she's singing Skater Boy. The camera zooms in on her and then zooms back out. And Tony Hawk is in there. Tony Hawk has aged 30 years in the last 7. Avril Lavigne looks exactly like she did in the video for Skater Boy, which came out like 10, 15 years ago. And she looks the exact same. Tony Hawk looks like Tony Hawk's dad.
All right, we got time enough for one more. I wanted to make sure that we had enough time to get this in. We are nominated for a 2021
boy!
Sports Show of the Year. Yes.
For those, here it is, official. The nominees list right there. And right there on the 2021 Star Awards finalist for Best Sports Show / Sports Talk Show, The Rob Brown Show with Rob and Lonzo, nominated for the Best Sports Show in the state of South Carolina for 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, the power of positivity compels you.
Well, I hope you don't get tired of it because you're definitely going to be hearing enough of it.
Great.
When we get Voice Guide, the thing that we're going to get Voice Guide.
Yes, and we should. And then he hopefully in August 19th, they'll have to do it again with Star Award winner. By the way, and I say this sincerely, thank you to Lonzo because he put the package together to make that go through. Lonzo, I'm dead serious. Lonzo busted it to make that thing as good as it was to get us nominated. So thank you, man. I appreciate that more than I can tell you, and that is 100% sincere. Your 3 o'clock code word is theme, THEME. Like the theme today was Rob and Lonzo have been nominated for an award. Theme, THEME. You're going to text that to 72881, 72881 for your chance to win a grand in the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate. Theme, THEME. That's it for the show. Diesel and Mark are up next for Offsides. Make sure you stay tuned for that. We'll be back tomorrow to talk NBA lottery. How did it shape up? And a whole lot more on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Later. I remember to turn it off on the last second. Later, dudes on the stream.